This is breaking barriers and providing essential connectivity for student success. We have three presenters here, and they have together, they have 50 years of experience in higher education. We have Johnny Bell. He is a circulation records librarian. And he has something that they started in 2019, their online back just before COVID hit. So that was really good timing. And Katie Chestnut, she's a technology blending specialist, also has 6 years in higher education, and she supports service as well. And then our presenter is Anne Reda, and she is the director of library services and 22 years in higher education. So we're fortunate to have them.
Thank you very much. So just real quick, we're going to go over our laptop lending program that we started. And then we'll step in and talk about the actual equipment and our policies. And then at the end, Anne's going to wrap us up with the exciting data process. So this was a fairly long time coming. Even before COVID, we had discussed doing loaner laptops for our students. We have a lot of students who don't have those. Then when COVID hit, we had students who were writing their English comp essays completely on their phones. So they were doing this research, their citations, everything on their phones. So we worked it out with our academic affairs to start loaning out laptops for those students.
No, are you ready?
Okay. All right. So there were, as all of you know, anytime you try to do one thing, you have to talk to somebody in every single department on your campus, right from the top down. So we had to work with different people all the way across the campus. I'm very proud of the fact that we were approved in November to do this, and we were launched in January. So we were able to push through a lot of this really quick. I think it helped that we were all at home, and everybody was glued to their computers with Zoom and Teams. And so we were able to get answers a whole lot faster than if it had been pre-COVID, right? We created contracts that went through both our academic affairs team and our legal counsel to make sure that everything was okay. Because the machines we are loading out are $800 machines to students. And we were doing something that a lot of places had not started doing yet. And we were letting them go out for most of the semester at a time. So originally we were doing 8 week, and everybody turned them in at spring break. And then we checked them out again. We eventually started doing renewals. Okay, we'll get to that too. And then we had to figure out a way to get the information out to the students. So we had a marketing campaign that did blast emails to the student body. We worked with our divisions that we liaise with to make sure that everybody knew. And then we had to work with the Bursar to figure out how we're going to do the fees and replacement costs, stuff like that. So here's our timeline for all of that. We originally started with 20 laptops, simply because that's what IT had on hand extra at the time. We checked them all out before noon on the first day of classes in January. Okay. We started with getting everything ready on January 6th, 2021. And we had a training for all of the CERT staff on how to do the checkouts, what to look for, all of that. And then on the first day of classes, they were gone real quick. And we had a wait list that was probably 70 names on it. So we asked for more. We got 25 more to do us through the rest of that semester. And we eventually worked out, we have around 200 laptops that we check out. They're still gone on the very first day of classes. They're still a wait list. Katie, her entire position is supporting this whole program to go through. Then we had another additional issue. So when we all went home for COVID, right, for those 2 weeks that turned into 6 months, our students were coming to campus, sitting on sidewalks or in their cars if they could get close enough to the buildings to have internet access. So we were trying to decide how we could assist them with that. And so we talked to academic affairs about hotspots. One of the drawbacks there is that unlike laptops, once you have them in hand, the laptops own, right? The hotspots, you have to pay your monthly fee like you do your cell phones. So we had to figure out how we were going to pay for that, right? So we started with 25 hotspots, and those go very quickly too. So if the laptops are gone by noon, the hotspots are gone by 8 o'clock in the morning when we open at 7:30. So they are gone real quick. So once we got those taken care of, we got them cataloged, and everything, the whole process takes a long time once you get a new device in hand, because we're not in the library, so everything is tracked, right? So we have to do all the cataloging and everything. So it's a long process even once they get there. And then we got everything available for fall 21 to start checking those out. And we now have, because of NICTA that Ann will be talking about, around 100 hotspots to use as well.
Good. I was very happy when Mike was working again, but very quiet. All right, then we go over the type of equipment that we check out the students. So for laptops, we chose to go with Dell. We're a Dell campus at OCC, but we wanted to make sure that they were compatible with all the classes. So that for me, we get Chromebooks and things like that. So a lot of students have either science classes or take proctoring exams, and they need to make sure they're first. So we went, so actually, no, there were up to 2 other laptops now that each come with their own accessories that they come with. So we have each laptop comes with its own bag, charger, and mouse combined. For hotspots, they're Verizon. They're very small. They're kind of like the size of the neck cards that they come in a little case. So they come with their own charging. So if you want to go with the you have internet, ideally you could. So we have up to 100 of those, and then they have unlimited data, which a lot of people, if they watch too much YouTube, it is helpful to know that. They do have a device. So this is an example of our contracts that we have students fill out, because they need to understand that this is very expensive when we're filling out. We lend them out for 8 weeks at a time. So you don't have to read that, but we have it, believe it or not, all of that is very necessary. Look at it, and I'll just keep a copy of it, but you have sections for students to sign off, because we need them to know that they're getting like a laptop, proper bag and mouse. We do put hold on accounts if people do not return their equipment, so they can get transcripts or they can't enroll in classes, so it's like a good incentive to get them to return their stuff. We do charge $10 per day after the due date. So once again, we want ourselves back. So anything you can think of. And we're just now starting to do a collections thing. If someone ever returns it, it does go to collections. So that's kind of our extreme scenario. So we just have them acknowledge by initialing everything, and then make the big blurb on the right is our legal thing that we just need to sign off, and knowing that we're responsible for your parents. So every student has to sign it every time they check it out, and copies of it, and they can do their own copy. So we're gonna do this fun slide about policy. It's a lot of information. So we had to have like a criteria of like who qualifies in order to check out a laptop or hotspot. It doesn't take a lot. You just have to be currently enrolled in that semester. You may have to either taking early classes or 6-week classes at the beginning of the term. We learned that students really like to keep them not coming back in the middle of the semester, so we started doing a renewal process. So people in the middle of the term can renew it and extend it to the end of the semester. Let's see, we do put a fun program on it called Decrease. So that means any student that is in the middle of a paper and it loses power and it turns back on and deletes everything. That sounds really bad, but it's a security measure, so people turning stuff back in, they'll reboot, they don't worry about their private information going on there. It's also very useful for if you get a virus on your computer, you can reboot it and it'll open up the virus. So students can only download programs if we allow them to have it on it, which is we use. Students are responsible for any loss or damages. Our computers, like John mentioned, they're about $800, so we try to help them along if we can, but if not, it's quite a hit. But I just mentioned earlier, we have a $10 per day backup late fee and a $5 per day hotspots. So these are things to consider if you choose to have these kind of programs. So every term or semester, we've always had stuff knocked back. So people are hardcore sometimes, but we have to keep an eye on how low our numbers are and then compare it to our wait list. We're constantly buying equipment, trying to keep up with the numbers because we want to keep our wait list as low as possible. So students are responsible for damages, so that students don't like it, we found out, but trying to find, trying to point out our lovely contact to them, mentioning fees, and we do invoices for students that don't return things or owe us late fees, we print them out. For tracking equipment, if you've ever checked out the library, you'll know that everything is in catalog. Same thing goes to our equipment, so every single item is being tracked, being tied to the student. So even if they graduate, we still have them. And for software updates, we can only update computers 3 times a year, in instances. So we have to make sure you allot enough time, make sure you get it fixed.
Hello. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about MCDA. One thing though that I want to say before I get into this, and I know we started late, so if I don't know how to do it on time. These two have done so much work on this that I don't think even really shines through when they're talking about all of this. There's so much work that is involved in keeping up with those contracts, doing the software updates that she talked about, the invoicing, all of the inventory, and then the damages. It isn't just so we have the damage about Katie has to deal with Dell, and then we have to get it fixed, and there's all this process. So our security guys like do that happen. I just want to point out that they do so much work to make this program work and to track all of that I can just rely on them. So it's great. So they mentioned before, we started out with just a few hotspots to begin with. Students obviously want to need those, right? But initially, because we were, we are a Verizon and our own campus, so let's say a Verizon campus, but we work with Verizon, that's who we went with. So, Verizon does have a third-party vendor that we use to get the hotspots for free. They just have to remain on contract for 6 months on that original way we were doing it. But our first initial cost for those was $40 per month per device, right? So that adds up very quickly. So what we ended up doing though, when we realized this isn't sustainable, we need more of them, we went to Verizon and asked, hey, we want more, we get more. Can we get a bulk deal? Like, what can we do to bring down the cost? So our rep at the time, who has changed, since she kind of got us going on this process, she said, you actually qualify for MCDA membership, which then qualifies us for the Verizon Digital Inclusion Program. Oh, so, well, I'll get to that in a minute. So we were able to
start the ball rolling to get that MIGDA membership going. But I do want to point out here, the Blueprint 2030, if you haven't read the blueprint, I would really recommend, going through it. There are a couple of different things within the blueprint that really help you advocate for some of the things that you're trying to do at your institution, right? So very specifically on this one, if you'll see, 12B ensures student access to digital devices and reliable internet access. So that is pretty much 100% what we're trying to do with the technology lending service that we have in the library. That, you know, obviously we're helping meet that goal, and is a great way to help us advocate for the needs that we have for that service. So there's, where I was talking about initially $40, got them down to 35. Then they said, hey, you qualify for MIGDA. And I still have not figured out what MIGDA stands for. I'm serious. I tried to find it on their website. It's Michigan Communications something. Technology. I swear to you, I have tried so hard on their website to find. Do you know what it is?
I don't, but the Oklahoma Association, the Oklahoma Speech Theater Association.
Oh, I have no idea. But so basically, it was a group originally created in Michigan, for telecommunications professionals and public institutions in Michigan, to create kind of essentially like a way to get, group pricing related to technology and specifically telecommunications. And then it's open to anyone. So it's not specific to Michigan, obviously, since, you know, here we are doing it. And their list is pretty encompassing of definitely us. It's higher ed, K-12, libraries, and it has a few others that are listed there. So once we got on the MIGDA membership, so our first year was free, and then our yearly membership is only $400 for the size of institution that we offer. So it's pretty affordable. And then we had two different pricing options with Verizon once we had that membership. So the $10 is if you have hotspots you already can bring to the table, which we did with the ones we already owned from the previous, you know, as we had already kind of been building the service. So the $15, so if you don't own any, you can opt to buy the hotspot first, generally $80 a hotspot, then you're locked in at the $10 a month rate, right? If you want to lease, that's what the 15 is. So then you can lease the hotspot. Your first year is $15 a month per device. And then after 1 year, it will drop down to $10. You essentially own the hotspot at that point. So this, as you can see between the two, so we have two levels because we did lease the new ones, and then we have the customer supply, I think is what they call the other one, for the $10. We actually just got into this price point, middle of January, so probably officially like February is our so very recently. But it allowed us to go from having, what did we have, like 40 to the 100 that we have now. And essentially didn't change what we were, I think it actually brought down a little bit what we were paying yearly and needing to budget yearly for this service. So what I would say with MIGDA, so MIGDA is not, the library is not the one doing MIGDA. It's actually our supposed to be that's doing it, all right? So we had to get, let everybody know, hey, this thing exists, you know, can we do it? And Verizon specifically works with more like your IT department, your fleet IT department. So we got everybody on board. We, through the library, did handle the MIGDA membership. And then basically we just give that account number or membership number over to Verizon to show the membership is set up. And then there are a few steps as far as having to get a couple of essentially like contracts put together.
So the contracts though are not run through the library, they're run through IT or whoever you would have manage that for you. And the nice thing about that, the reason I kind of want to bring that up for one, you know, you want to bring these people to the table and make sure everybody knows what's going on, what you're doing, right? But, the hotspots at that price point is not a library deal. It is a campus deal. So if IT wants to get hotspots for your, concurrent instructors that are off on campuses where sometimes internet access is spotty, they can use the same, agreement that we're using. So definitely kind of, I think I mentioned, but yeah. And so there is another, or at least one that I know of, maybe a number of other hotspot providers that you can get it at pretty low rates. I don't know what the requirements are to get it at as low as we were able to get it with NICTA. But we had already been working with Verizon. We're comfortable with the process with them and with our representatives. So it's not to say that NICTA is the only way you can get a $10 or a $15 a month rate on these hotspots, but it worked well for us in the process that we were already going through. Yeah, any questions? Yeah.
You have already mentioned this, but did you say that, where did you get the funding for the original two?
Oh, yeah. So, COVID didn't help. COVID, funding was what really got us off the ground, both for, the first couple of batches that we had at the laptops and in the hotspot. And then the library absorbed the hotspot cost after that. Currently, for the laptops, we do it kind of we have two different things that we do. We're fortunate enough that there is a yearly process to ask for support through our student technology fee for different projects. And this is one that our student technology fee has been able to help fund. So as we, you know, kind of the numbers dwindle a little toward the, you know, the end of the year, because they haven't been brought back, we're able to kind of get assistance that way. We have used some of the library budget for it as well. But I think moving forward, now that we're really established, trying to get some grant funding is going to be the next step. Another thing that I wanted to mention, as far as issues that we have with the laptops not coming back to us, we have a batch of 25 laptops that are actually in the building. We're about to start being able to get those ready to go and start using through the service. We're going to be loading a software on there called Absolute. So this is new for us. So we can't speak to how well it's going to help with getting these back to us. But once because right now we have all these other laptops are out with students, and we're not going to get them back until May. So we'll get it on this new batch that's coming in. Then in May, we'll get it on all the ones that come back from students at the end of the spring semester. And so fall will really be the semester where we see how well this software works. It has capabilities that we're not gonna use. I mean, it actually has a level that you can purchase that allows for like an investigator to go and find your equipment. We're not gonna do that. We went with a more basic cost point that will, and it is actually really affordable too. So if any of you are doing this kind of service and you're having issues with return rates, I would consider looking into this software. They work with Dell directly, so it wasn't some kind of random, you know, software. And our ITS department was who helped us figure that out. And then Dell set up the demos and stuff, and the payment goes all through our Dell stuff. And it was really affordable. Per device, it was, you guys remember, like $12. I wish I had that in front of me, but we just now started that. And so what we're hoping to be able to do with it kind of on your more kind of basic use, it can do like screen pop-up messages. So if your student is 2 weeks overdue on their laptop and they're writing something on their laptop, you know, we can trigger a message, hey, you're online, are online. Can you please bring that back? Because other students are waiting for these laptops, that kind of thing. And it does, the level we bought, which is the lower level, the middle level does have GPS tracking. Again, we're, aside from maybe saying, we're aware that you're locally here with the laptop, like, we're not gonna go knock on people's doors, or anything like that, but we do hope that that direct, messaging to the screen and things like that will really help, get some of these back to us a little bit. Huh. Oh yeah, we can shut them off too, so we can say, hey, we're just gonna power this down, it's not gonna, and we can actually wipe the entire computer too, if we need to completely kind of fake fry, and then they can rebuild it again, so. All of that's built into the Absolute software, but like I said, we have not even gone through the process of installing that yet, so that's gonna be new for us, it's something we're gonna have to find out, maybe for Katie to find out how that works. And then we'll see in the fall. I guess it would be really not until December would be probably when we would really know better how that's helping. So, yeah. Great. Was that a chat room question?
It was, I can check for chat.
You might go ahead. How does it be determined the pricing for the link on the equipment? It's $800. It's $10 a day. With, I'm sure it's not an arbitrary number, so.
Well, it used to. I mean, it kind of is. We just, $10 is what we decided that it was enough to be scary enough for people to return it. Okay. And then the $5, just because the equipment cost on a hotspot is so much lower than a laptop, it was a lower price point or fee level for that. And then we don't tell them this, but we do cap it. We just because potentially it's just like that. But we're actually they're pausing on the overdue fees for this next year because now we're moving into the collections process with the credit card. And we're kind of trying to tie up some stuff kind of on the back end, moving into the next school year. So we're going to see next year kind of how it actually looks, not charging over all, and dealing more through students seeing something show up on their first start, because we have not been tied into the first start in that way. So we'll see how that goes. There's no student. No, it's totally free. Yeah, for them to do this. Yeah.
The chat just wanted to let you know that they can hear you.
They can.
I do have one question. You probably said this as well. How long can the students, for a period of time, can they check out the laptop?
So it's 8 weeks. It's always an 8-week due date, but if they're in a 16-week class or they're enrolled for the second 8 week, they just have to show us that that enrollment is still active after the first 8, and then they keep it for the second 8. So most of them, 80% probably, at least 80% do the renewal and will have it for 16 weeks. And it's same with the hotspots. We use the same renewal process for that.
So I guess that is another question. So after 16 weeks, then they can't renew after that. They have to let somebody else use it and get in the laptop.
Yeah.
And then they get their like a reading period before they use that one again.
The next semester.
The next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in essentially, 91 days.
Yeah, so we clean them, run all the updates. If there's something that needs to be updated in the packet, the packet that they put in every one of the laptop bags, they're going through kind of that whole process. So they'll have just like all these laptop bags behind the circulation desk that they've like sprayed and, with Lysol, just trying to get everything ready for a whole nother process.
They always go out on the first day of class.
So students will be out in our lobby at 7, usually 6:30 to 7 a.m. before we open at 7:30. And And that's when we mentioned the hotspots, like we give out numbers so we know who puts it in. We give out the number of hotspots immediately to the people.
So like I said, we take a number for the way to run.
Yeah. Yeah, and we holler. Like being a bit. What else? Am I doing?
You have 2 more minutes.
Yeah, I have a question. So I missed this in your presentation, sorry about that. For true online students, is this program valid for them? And if so, how will the laptops get to them, return to you?
So, I mean, as it is right now, students have to come in person to get the laptop. If they're fully online, that's fine. But right now, we require that in-person process because they have to go through an initial on that contract and sign that contract. So if they're truly like a distance learner, we haven't established a process for getting it out to them in some institution. So if they contacted us, like Katie, is always willing to do what she can to help students, whatever their situation is, I'm sure we would just work out a way to figure out how to get to it.
Well, if there are no other more questions. We want to thank you very much. This is a dream.